Travelers, welcome to the introduction of the new cards in Genius Invokation TCG version 4.6. In this update, we have added 4 new character cards and 7 new action cards. Let's dive in and take a look. Kuki Shinobu. Kuki Shinobu is an Electrosword wielder from Inazuma. Summons a grass ring of sanctification upon using her elemental skill. If Kuki Shinobu has at least 6 HP when she uses this skill, then she deals 2 piercing damage to herself. After you switch characters, Grass Ring of Sanctification will deal 1 electro damage and heal the character on your team that has taken the most damage for 1 HP. Kuki Shinobu's Elemental Burst will deal 4 electro damage and heals herself for 2 HP. After equipping her talent, Kuki Shinobu gains 1 chance to revive each round, and upon revival, she restores 1 HP to herself. If Kuki Shinobu does not have more than 5 HP, deal +1 damage. Kuki Shinobu's skills provide a significant amount of electro application and some healing. Combined with the revival and increased damage effects of her talent card, Kuki Shinobu has the ability to maintain presence and burst potential, making her a highly functional character. Faruzan. Faruzan is an Anemo archer from Sumeru. Activating her elemental skill will deal 3 Anemo damage, and this character gains Manifest Gale. While in the Manifest Gale state, Faruzan's charge attacks will cost 1 less unaligned element, convert attack damage to Anemo damage, attaches Pressurized Collapse to the target character. Characters afflicted with the Pressurized Collapse state will be switched in as the active character during the end phase. Upon activating her Elemental Burst, Faruzan will deal 1 Anemo damage and summon the Dazzling Polyhedron. The Dazzling Polyhedron will deal 1 Anemo damage during the end phase. While present, opposing characters take +1 Anemo damage. After equipping her talent, the Dazzling Polyhedron will generate 1 Anemo die at the start of its entry and action phases. Faruzan's elemental skill provides excellent control capabilities, allowing for precise strikes against opponents at the end of the turn when paired with summoning-focused decks. The additional Anemo dice provided by her talent, along with the Anemo damage enhancement from her Elemental Burst, enable her to perform well in teams that primarily utilize Anemo as their main output. Emperor of Fire and Iron. The Emperor of Fire and Iron is a Pyro Boss monster. When combat begins, the passive skill, Imperial Panoply, grants 5 initial shield stacks of Armored Crab Carapace. When the Emperor of Fire and Iron is present, after our side performs any action, all shield statuses on our side, except for Armored Crab Carapace, are removed. For each shield removed, this character gains 2 stacks of Armored Crab Carapace. After equipping the talent card, the character will have Pyro applied to it. When shields other than Armored Crab Carapace are removed from our side, the Emperor of Fire and Iron gains 2 stacks of Armored Crab Carapace. After activating the elemental skill, the Emperor of Fire and Iron will deal 1 pyro damage and gain 2 stacks of Armored Crab Carapace. If this character has at least 7 stacks of Armored Crab Carapace, this damage +1. Upon activating the Elemental Burst, the Emperor of Fire and Iron prepares the skill, Searing Blast. Searing Blast deals 1 pyro damage and 2 piercing damage to all opposing standby characters. This skill deals +1 pyro damage for every 2 Armored Crab Carapace stacks this character has. The Emperor of Fire and Iron's passive skill can absorb a significant amount of damage. In the early game, it can be combined with characters who can frequently generate shields or trigger multiple crystallized reactions to accumulate high stacks of Armored Crab Carapace. In the late game, it synergizes with the explosive potential of Armored Crab Carapace to finish off opponents. Abyss Herald, Wicked Torrents. Abyss Herald, Wicked Torrents is a Hydro Boss monster. When the battle begins, the character will be under the passive state, Watery Rebirth. Upon being defeated, the character removes Watery Rebirth to revive and recovers 4 HP. After this effect is triggered, physical damage this character deals is converted to Hydro damage and Hydro damage +1. Upon activating the Elemental skill, the character deals 2 Hydro damage and prepares the skill, Rippling Blades. Rippling Blades deals 1 Hydro damage. Upon activating the Elemental Burst, the character deals 3 Hydro damage and creates Curse of the Undercurrent on the opponent's field. Curse of the Undercurrent causes characters in the affected camp to use an additional elemental die when using elemental skills or elemental bursts. After equipping the talent, if the character has already triggered Watery Rebirth, it will create Curse of the Undercurrent on the opponent's field. If not, Curse of the Undercurrent will be generated when Watery Rebirth is triggered. Abyss Herald, Wicked Torrents can increase the opponent's dice cost, while the passive Watery Rebirth provides him with additional survivability and output capability. He can serve not only as a tank that draws aggro, but also as a core damage dealer for the team. Action Card Updates. This update also adds 7 new action cards. Rightful Reward is the first 2-cost weapon with additional functionality, which is very suitable for polearm characters who rely on elemental bursts for output. Amethyst Crown is more suitable for decks or characters that can frequently deal dendro damage. Tarumaro can directly increase the hand cards in the deck, and the summoned entities generated can also provide additional damage enhancement methods for freeze decks. The event cards generated by the White Glove and the Fisherman provide more flexible damage enhancement methods. Seilai Island is effective against characters with self-healing capabilities and particularly effective against characters with revival abilities. Underwater Treasure Hunt is very suitable for decks that have a lot of card cycling methods, providing them with additional dice and recovery. Rainbow Macarons are more flexible compared to other continuous recovery dishes, and the healing amount is less likely to overflow. That's all for this update. For more content related to Genius Invocation, remember to follow this channel. See you in the next episode!